Today, at my direction, the Orleans Parish District Attorney's Office secured a grand jury indictment of two juveniles, Caden Grow and Damon Thomas, for second-degree murder and armed robbery charges. Bringing this case before the grand jury today and handling it in criminal district court is in the best interest of the people of New Orleans. Based on federal law, if convicted, these juveniles could face a life in prison, but they would be eligible for parole after serving 25 years based upon federal law. And let's talk about the law. Let's talk about the facts. According to NOPD police reports, Miss Anita Urban Levige was headed to visit with her family, specifically tending to the needs of her aging parents, when she was murdered along with her dog Chloe during a failed attempt to steal her car in New Orleans East. The NOPD also reports that the same two young men participated in an additional armed robbery less than an hour, very close to where Miss Levige was murdered. The NOPD reports make it pretty crystal clear what happened on this particular day. There's camera footage and numerous amounts of other evidence. Mr. Grow and Mr. Thomas are both juveniles. They are allegedly responsible for the murder of Miss Urban Levige and the subsequent armed robbery. Irrespective of age, these actions took a life senselessly. My hearts and prayers go out to the family and friends of Miss Anita. What began as a very routine drive to visit with family ended in her tragic murder. This is still a very extremely tough time for her family. I just visited with them recently, and I ask that the city keep them in your thoughts and in your prayers, as you will with any family who has lost a relative to senseless gun violence. Our goal is to secure justice in this case, and today's grand jury indictment was the first step. My decision to prosecute this murder and armed robbery committed by juveniles in criminal court is not at all taken lightly, but it is right and it is just. While I am deeply committed to handling juvenile matters in juvenile court, we refuse to ignore the egregiousness of their actions, and we must pursue appropriate accountability. The limitations of the juvenile sentencing guidelines would be inadequate in holding young people accountable for heinous crimes. And we refuse to send a message to young people engaged in criminal activity that murders by juveniles will receive less scrutiny and less accountability. And we refuse to support the creation of a cottage industry of young killers. And I'm talking about young people being coerced by adults to commit murders because they know young people will get shorter sentences because of juvenile sentencing guidelines. Other types of juvenile matters will continue to be handled in juvenile court. However, I want to underscore something very loud and very clear. A decision to take a life requires and will receive greater accountability, and anyone who does this will be held accountable. I've said this before, and I will say it again. I commend Mr. Grow for doing the extremely difficult task of turning his son in to take the responsibilities for his actions. This city needs more parents like him.